Don't get me wrong, I value my friendships with my guy friends a lot, but there are so many layers of sarcasm stacked onto every conversation that it is difficult to see what is really being said.
Wait, is neurotypical communication just male communication forced on everybody because men are considered the default human? And the patriarch? Go back and watch that guy's video. He's basically contemplating the importance of him as a man having platonic women friends. And he gives this example of how he went out with his brother and his brother's coworkers, and there were women amongst them, and how he noticed the difference in quality of the communication style when they were all around the women. And he called that vulnerability. But then he further explained it as the clip that I played, which is it's not necessarily vulnerability like talking about intimate stuff, but vulnerability in just like being honest, just like speaking directly. Not being super sarcastic to the point that you're laying sarcasm on top of sarcasm that you don't even know what's real anymore. And that made me think about the divide between neurotypical and neurodivergent people when it comes to communication, and how neurodivergent people always accuse neurotypical people of being indirect in their communication. And hearing this guy describe how he typically communicates with his male friends versus how he was communicating with these women and other men in these women's presence in community with them at the bar or whatever, made me think like maybe the communication divide isn't necessarily neurotypical versus neurodivergent. Like, what if this is a male-female divide or a mask-femme divide? One of the biggest culprits of indirect communication is corporate speak, professionalism, right? And who was professionalism and corporate speak invented for? White men. So it would make sense that what is considered the appropriate communication style in corporate environments would be how the people who created those environments naturally communicate. And it was white men that created those environments. They're the ones that created the concept of professionalism. And it all boils down to a fear of vulnerability, being honest, just being real about what you're saying. And it's interesting that from this guy's perspective, women do this way better than men do. He also noted that it wasn't just in the way that the men were interacting with the women and the women were interacting with the women, but also the way that the men in the group were interacting with each other. So even in that group, they felt comfortable to be, quote, vulnerable, aka just real. In the same way that I talked about how male nature, especially white male nature, has been confused for human nature, is it possible that the concept of neurotypical communication style / indirect speech / corporate talk / professionalism / appropriate is really just male style indirect sarcasm on sarcasm on sarcasm communication that has been projected onto all of humanity because of the patriarchy?